Hey guys, so today's video is all about the schedule that I have planned for this school year. So our schedule at the beginning of the school year is almost certainly never the same schedule that we have at the end of the school year. This year, I actually kind of based my hopeful schedule kind of on how we ended our school year last year, as far as the rhythm that really works for my family. My kids tend to be best able and willing to learn in the morning. I'm always eager and excited to teach in the morning and to learn alongside them in the mornings. So the bulk of our schooling has always happened in the morning. But last school year, toward the end of the school year, we really kind of hit our stride with doing family subjects at a certain time, breaking off, doing some individual subjects and things like that. So that has kind of rolled into the way that I planned this upcoming school year's schedule. But you know, our baby is almost 18 months old, and by the end of our school year, she'll basically be 2.5. And so you never really know how your family's rhythm will evolve over time. So at the end of the school year, it might look completely different. But this is what I have planned. This is what I think will work really well for our fall semester and also our annual schedule. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with our annual schedule. So this year we are going year-round, which isn't really gonna be all that much different than in years past. In years past, we have started the very first week of August. Years and years ago, we started right around Labor Day. So it has kind of gotten a little earlier and a little earlier each year. This year, we're starting mid-July. We will have already started, most likely by the time you're seeing this video, or we are getting ready to start by the time you're seeing this video. So yeah, this year we are starting mid-July, and we're gonna do 4 or 5 weeks at a time and take a week off. That week is fluid, but I kind of have an idea of where I would like to plug it in. But if something comes up and we have to scoot some days around, that's totally fine by me. That week will also hopefully be kind of like a working week where we're still doing activities, experiments, projects, continuing on with some things that interested them, but also giving me the space to do some planning for the next bulk, the next 4 or 5 weeks that we're gonna be doing some more intensive learning. My plan for this is that we would be halfway done before we take a decent Christmas break. So we took 6 weeks for the summer, and that's my hope, is that every summer we'll take about 6 weeks. We do live in Florida. The beaches are irresistible. I can't just take 3 or 4 weeks in the summer. I have to take a little bit of sea vacation. And so we take 6 weeks in the summer as of right now, and then I hope to take about 4 weeks again in the winter. Christmas time has never been a time we've been able to enjoy as a family because my husband used to be a delivery driver. He was a delivery driver since before our oldest was born. So he worked for UPS for about 12 years. He has only recently split off from the company, and now he co-owns a business with his father, or he's in the transition of co-owning that business with his father. So now not only do we have more time than we're used to in the winter, but we have like an abundance of flexibility with it being a family-owned business. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how this holiday season works for our family. I'm looking forward to it. I have a lot of eager anticipation looking toward the fall and toward the holiday season. So because of that, I want to pull back and make sure that we're taking a bit of a family siesta when it comes to the winter this year. I also remember being pretty burnt out last Christmas, and it wasn't just because of John's schedule. I had gotten pretty used to his schedule at Christmas time, but just life. We started our school year last year. I don't want to get too far off here, but we started our school year last year with Hurricane Irma, and that was exhausting, some renovation, and by the time that we got to December or so, I was just longing for a winter season, and I think that that's probably the second or third year I felt that way. And so I'm being mindful of the way that our family culture kind of has developed over the last few years, and I'm really I'm trying to be mindful to not overschedule and to not try to power through school when it's not necessary. So cutting off some of the summer there, adding some extra time in the winter, I think that's going to be really good for our family. So I hope to be halfway done, which is about 18 weeks done with school by the time we get to our Christmas break. And that leaves another 17 or 18 weeks in the spring semester. Another reason for that as well is that I feel like there's so much excitement in the fall. There's a lot of holidays, there's a lot of excitement being back to school, but it's very short when you compare it to, say you have 3.5 months of school in the fall and then you have like 5.5 months in the spring, and there's not much excitement in the spring. And so I don't like that feeling of it kind of being lopsided. I wanted to be halfway done by Christmas. So that's our goal. Of course, if we're not exactly halfway done, there's plenty of grace to go around here. We've had many years that we didn't finish on time. Most every year we don't finish on time. So there's a little ant right here. So that's the plan. I can kind of go through and show you. I think that, I don't know that it would be very helpful, but I printed this off from Tina's Dynamic Homeschool Plus. I'll put a link below. I always use these planner pages for planning our full schedule. So I plan to go 4 weeks, take a break, another 4 weeks, and then a couple of 5-week sessions before we have nice 4 weeks at Christmas, and then like another 4, 5, 4, 5 kind of a deal in the spring. So that's my hope, to be done by late May, early June, and then start again mid-July of next year. But we'll see how this year takes us. This is a learning curve for us. We've never done year-round, but I'm really thinking it's going to be good for our family. Plus, those week-long breaks, we really enjoy the beach. We have a lot of educational opportunity around us. We have tons of zoos and museums and things like that. So I want to have the freedom to go and explore some of those things on our weeks off as well. Okay, so moving into more of our daily schedule, which is probably the more interesting part of this video. I know for me, I'm always looking to see how other moms set up their homeschool days. I shouldn't just say moms. My brother is actually homeschooling his kids this year, so I should definitely recognize all the homeschooling dads. But anyway, I'm always interested to see how homeschooling families set up their homeschooling days. This year, like I said, is pretty similar to last year with a couple of exceptions. One exception is that instead of scheduling a specific time for the kids to do their independent work, I am expecting them to have that independent work completed by the time we gather for our morning basket time. Because of that, I pushed our morning basket time back by about an hour. I want my kids to learn and grow here in this area of independence. I don't want them to always look to me to tell them the very next thing to do. I'm starting to notice a pattern in my kids as they get older, that they ask permission for everything. And I appreciate that they're obedient, but I also want to teach them how to fly a little bit. And so because of that, I plan to put out some sticky notes and some instructions on the breakfast table, kind of giving them an idea of what they need to complete that morning. And then just, oh my goodness, I'm out by the garage right now, so there's like a bunch of bugs. Anyway, so yeah, that being said, I'm gonna stick some sticky notes. I'm gonna put some information for them at the breakfast table, and they will have plenty of time before we start our morning basket time. And of course, I'll give them warning. I'm not gonna just be like, you didn't finish it, you don't get to do morning basket. But I'm really hoping that it encourages them to get moving and to get going on some of their independent work, kind of like reverse homework. So instead of doing some independent work in the evenings like many children who go to school would do, I'm expecting my kids to complete that independent work in the morning so that as a family we can move on in the subjects that are important for me to teach and for us to gather for. Because they do teaching textbooks math, that's something that they can do on their own. Now, of course, I'll be awake and available if they need help. I'm not asking them to do everything on their own. If there's any worksheets or things like that that we encounter the day before or we're going to encounter in the day ahead, then I plan to have those sitting out for them to complete. Any of that busy work that just takes up our time when we could be doing something more enjoyable, more beautiful together as a family, I want them to knock that out on their own. I want them to learn some responsibility there, and that'll give me time as well. If I have a little bit more time in the morning, that'll give me some time to get the kitchen cleaned up, get our day set up, and to have a little bit of time, like I said yesterday, with my preschooler and my toddler. So that's where I would be doing some of that preschool work with him as well. So then from about 8:30 to 10 or so, I want to be sure to give us more than just an hour, because sometimes we straggle, sometimes it's a little more than, you know, we're 15 minutes, 20 minutes late off schedule, and I have to be aware and allow the flexibility there in our schedule, or I will start to shut down if I'm feeling like we're getting too far off. So I'm giving us about an hour-and-a-half window there to sit down together, to gather and do our morning basket together, which are the bulk of our group subjects. Then from 10 to 11, and this was something that we started toward the end of last school year, we go outside together. We can't go outside much later than that right now in Florida. So 10 to 11 is really like, by the time we're coming inside, we're pretty hot. That's the time I put out a snack, I put out some fruit, I put out a little crunchy snack for them. We sit in the driveway. I usually do my personal Bible study because I don't usually get it done pretty early in the morning. And the kids scoot around, they play in the driveway, they play chalk. This is not our nature study time. This is not our family exercise time. This is not a PE time. This is free play. Just to let them be outside and enjoy themselves, take a little bit of a break. We just probably did some heavy subjects, we probably did some geography, probably did some poetry, some things that kind of are a little beyond them that we're kind of growing in. So it's important for us to be outside and kind of take that break together as a family. It's important for me as well to get out of the kitchen and to get out of my chores. And then we'll come inside, and from 11 to 12:30, this is where in the past we did our independent work. Now this is where we'll be doing more of a loop schedule. So I'm looking forward to this year. I did write down the things that I plan to loop through, and I will tell you what that is going to be right now. So the things that I plan to loop through in that late morning time, it's going to be another hour and a half. Again, I don't think we'll be doing an hour and a half straight, but that will give us time to get inside, get cleaned up, and it'll also give me time to break off early, prepare lunch, things like that. The things that I plan to loop, and this is what I'm really excited about this school year, because these are things we never really had the time for, and I'm really looking forward to doing these things together. So one will be our science unit, or any kind of unit study that we're doing at the time, but I did tell you guys a couple days ago what those initial science units, what I plan for those to be. Another one will be our handicraft, and that I think we're going to be starting with some gardening. We also have a lot of responsibilities outside in general. My kids have a lot of animals. They have to clean cages, clean coops, clean all sorts of stuff. And so that'll be a time that we work on that together, kind of have that chore responsibility, and then also do some gardening. Pray for me with the gardening. So that's the second thing. The third thing is our nature study, and that's going to be a dedicated time where we do break out the watercolors. We go sit under our mango tree most often, and we spend some time together painting whatever we found on a nature walk. A nature walk would go in at that time as well. So that gives them a good focused time to do nature study, because 30 minutes, 45 minutes is definitely not enough time, and I discovered that last year. Another time is the library or our read aloud. So we have a library that's less than 5 minutes from our house. We don't make it there very often. I haven't put a good time in our schedule for it to work out. And so having an hour and a half before lunch is enough time to load up, go to the library, or if it's not a week we need to go to the library, because we really only go every couple of weeks, because they pick out so many books at a time. That'll be an extra time for us to read aloud, to either just go deeper in our read aloud, because we're reading the Little House series still and they're really focused on it, or just to read picture books and do other things like that. So that's like an extra time to focus on our read aloud time. And then the other thing is to do some baking together to prepare for our poetry tea time. I've always baked, and then the kids kind of rush through it, but they all love to bake, and I've only given my daughter the credit for enjoying baking. My sons both love to bake, but I don't give them much time with me in the kitchen. So having an hour and a half every 5, 6, 7 school days or so to spend baking together, preparing for an afternoon tea time, is something that I've always wanted to work into our schedule, and I'm really excited about doing that this upcoming year. It's also going to be the time that we work on art together. I actually have art, which we're using Yellow Spot Sun. I'm sure that video went up a couple days ago. So our art is going to go in a couple of different places, because we're doing more than one lesson a week, but that's going to be the time that we do a lot of the art while our things are in the oven. So those are the things that we are going to be looping through in that late morning time. I'm really hopeful that this works out well for us. The rest of our day is very similar to last year, about a half an hour for lunch, and then some quiet time, which I'm gonna do a video on quiet time because I do get asked often what that looks like. And then from about 2 to 2:30, or yeah, about 2 to 2:30, we do a read aloud together every afternoon. I put out another snack at 2 o'clock every day. It just helps us keep things moving in a positive way if I have snack times ready and available. We sit down together with a snack. I do our read aloud. One day a week, that read aloud time is our poetry tea time, but the rest of the week, that's just reading the Little House series or whatever we're reading at the time. And then we work on contributions together, which are our afternoon chores. Then for the rest of the afternoon, they're free to play. I don't schedule them anymore. I used to, and my husband had terribly long hours, but right now he's home at a really decent time. And so it's not scheduled. Nothing is scheduled until well after dinner time anymore, which is a huge blessing because that's never been something that we had the freedom to enjoy. So the nice thing about this is that we've had a lot of time together. It's not been overly structured to the point where they're exhausted because there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of different activities, but it's not exhausting, if that makes sense. Sometimes we're outside, sometimes we're inside, but it's all a nice slow pace, a nice spaced out schedule. But one thing they haven't done is had a lot of time to break out their toys and things like that. When we're doing school, they're usually playing with educational toys, puzzles, blocks, things like that, not technology or anything like that during that 9 to 3 o'clock time frame. And so when we're done with our read aloud, because the only other independent time they had was alone for their quiet time, when they around 3 o'clock break off and have some time together, they don't argue much. And I say that knock on wood because that's been my experience, that since I keep them engaged and on a schedule during the day, when they finally have that opportunity to go play, they can get their toys out, which they haven't seen all day, but they can also play together creatively without me standing over them telling them what to do next. And that's left room for really great opportunity for a relationship between my kids. And so not letting them have their bedroom doors open during the school day, not letting them get to their toys, not letting them argue about their toys, basically toys are the problem, not letting them get to all that stuff during the school day has been really helpful. So at 3 o'clock, when they break off from me and our official day is done, there's a lot of freedom in that time for me as well. We do an afternoon nap for the baby, or I take the baby and have some one-on-one time with her. They are free to play and enjoy themselves. Sometimes we'll go outside and they'll swim, anything like that. Hopefully this upcoming year we won't have that many afternoon activities. We're really working to cut back on some of that. So it just gives them the time to pursue what they want to pursue. They can continue anything that they've enjoyed. A lot of times they have a painting that they didn't finish, things like that that they really want to get to that they can do. But other than that, they just want to play, they just want to be together, and things are generally pretty harmonious because they haven't had a lot of free play time during the day. So that's what our schedule looks like this upcoming year, and I am going to send you on over to today's giveaway. Today's giveaway is for an absolutely beautiful Charlotte Mason inspired homeschool planner designed by Anna Vance from Anna Vance Paper Co. You guys have to go online and check out all of her different planners. They are stunningly beautiful. I cannot imagine sitting down and opening up this planner at the start of every single homeschooling day and not just feeling encouraged by the beauty and the excitement that this planner holds. This is a very encouraging planner for moms, and it also holds every single thing you can think of when it comes to school planning. I'm talking looking ahead, mapping your year, individual lessons, weekly lesson plans, checklists, book lists, login information, ideas to jot down for the next upcoming school year, any homeschooling connections that you've made with some friends at co-ops, an opportunity to track habits, a place for notes, and then absolutely gorgeous accessories. So you guys need to go check out her website. This is not the only planner she has. This is just one of the many beautiful planners she's designed. She's also offering my subscribers a 10% discount code to her shop, so I will put that in the description box below. This is beautiful, guys. Don't miss out on this opportunity for a giveaway. I'm really excited to see who wins this giveaway today. Thank you so much in advance for sending me this planner to give away and also for the discount code. You guys leave me a comment below and let me know what schedule changes you've made this upcoming year to accommodate your changing family. Just keep in mind, don't be too hard on yourself if a schedule doesn't work out right off the bat, yeah, because it's a whole rhythm you have to get used to with your family. Things are constantly changing, and I am really just learning that. I was much too hard-headed about schedules in the past, and I'm really looking forward to a little bit more freedom this school year. So let me know what you guys have coming up as far as schedules, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.